What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Meathead podcast, joined by our esteemed panel, going around the clock here, IFBB Pro, the Greek god, Jimmy Mentis, future IFBB Pro, Chris Pantano, and Mike Cox. Every week you get a cool name. This time he's representing, if you guys know who, if any of you know who Yaroslav Horvath was, I'm sure, I think he's still alive.
Geniuses.
15 points. So we said this one's going to be the Arnold Classic highs and lows. And I want to start with the highs. I want to start with all the positive, good stuff. So $750,000, biggest prize in bodybuilding history, was won by Mr. Andrew Jacked. Also his first really big title. He had won the Arnold UK a few years back, but this is, it's one step away from being Mr. Olympia, Arnold Classic. First of all, I don't think any of us were there in person, correct? Was anybody?
No, I was not.
But I guess we'll get into the judging and stuff, because we could argue the placings and everything, and we'll be doing that. But I did want to start off on a very positive note. Congratulations to Andrew. Amazing. We're getting close to $1 million, guys. I think we're almost there. I think we're going to be at $1 million first prize within a year. Either the Olympia this year or the Arnold next year, I think is going to give $1 million. Anybody agree or disagree with that?
It's coming.
I think we're all wishing for it. I think we're all for it. Yeah, absolutely. We all want to see it.
Yeah. So, I mean, what are they going to do? Make it 700? Are they going to go to 800? No, you got to go all the way to make a nice even number, I think. Right. So, all right, let's get into the actual judging. We all watched it for free. How awesome is that? Thank you, Arnold people. So here we go. Let me start playing it. All right, so this was your first call out right here. Let's see, let me get rid of this Andrew thing. First call out. 4-man first call out. It was the top 4 that we've all been predicting, or most of us have been. This was the top 4 I had as soon as the list came out in December. And I think most people agreed these were the 4 biggest names going in. The four guys who had done the best at the Olympia level. We got a Mr. Olympia champion in Hadi, an Arnold Classic champ. Nick Walker, an Arnold Classic champ. Martin's done very well. Andrew just took 3rd. I think I don't want to put a negative spin on it right away, but I wanted Brandon Curry in this call out, and a lot of people.
No doubt.
Why did they not? There was space for one more guy up there. Come on. It's not like that stage is that small.
I agree.
You want a 43-year-old man beating a 27-year-old kid, though? That was a rising star in the sport. Because if you look at now, okay, let's be positive. Go ahead, Ron. Let's steer positively before I hijack it to negativity.
Positivity. Nick. I want to say Nick brought an amazing package. He redeemed himself for that look that I was not happy with at the Olympia. Not his best. That might have been his worst look, actually, as far as I'm concerned. But coached himself and brought a fantastic package, so much so that it was very close, and a lot of people had Nick winning, especially after Friday night. Andrew is a different, talk about apples and oranges, but Andrew brought a great package. Would we have liked to have seen him super shredded to the bone? Yes, but I don't know if he ever did that. I wonder how much of that fullness and that round look, that pop he would lose. So I'd rather see him with pretty good condition and still have that nice round full look than if he had to go down and look a little stringier. Martin, we'll get to everyone individually. You guys can talk about, but Martin, I wasn't happy with the way this is just the physiques I'm talking about. I liked his look in Prague so much better. If he had brought that look, he would have been pushing for this win here. Mm-hmm. And Hadi, not the best Hadi, a little soft in the lower back and the glutes and the hams, but considering everything that man has been through over the past few months, right now his country is being bombed to hell. And, he lost his sponsor. He lost so many of his fans. For him to look as good as he did, props to this guy. But go ahead, Mike. Negativity time. Let's go.
No. It's just I would assume that Brandon would have got the respect as a champion because they saw how good he was. And if you looked at the pictures in the NPC News online, he was smoking Martin. Like he was giving Martin some work in those poses. His legs look just as good, if not better, in the front double. So, I'm not crying foul. I'm not saying, Wayne DeMillio's in charge again. I'm just saying it just seemed weird that you wouldn't give a Mr. Olympia, a 2-time Arnold Classic champ, the respect of being that first call out.
Jimmy, what did you think about Brandon? We'll look at Brandon, but you watched it, right?
Yeah. I mean, Brandon, if you look at that, was a one call out. It was Brandon Martin and who else? There was another guy. Was it Raphael?
Is it Rafa? Rafa, I think.
It was Rafa, right? So he did kind of battle for fourth there. So that right there, that was a battle for fourth. So I don't know why they didn't bring him up here. Right?
This hotel Wi-Fi is horrible.
But
Yeah, Chris is in Columbus now. He wasn't there for the show, but he's there now. Oddly enough.
Chris, come back home tomorrow. I'm out here for work, and this Wi-Fi is abysmal.
Yeah, hotel Wi-Fi is hit or miss.
It's so bad.
Sorry, Jimmy, you were talking. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think they did. They did bring Brandon. I mean, at one call out, they had Martin and Brandon, and Rafa. So he did fight for fourth place. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Chris can't hear me. So I think, they didn't bring him up. That's the judge's thing, but I had him fourth. But again, that pay-per-view, man, from people that told me they were like third, fourth row, they were actually sitting in front of the judges. We were seeing something totally different on pay-per-view from what these guys were seeing in real life.
Yeah. Well, you could say that about any show that I was seeing the same thing. People were messaging me saying, I'm up front and Nick's got this all day.
Right.
Man, you know what I said too? I said Friday night, I thought Nick was the best physique on that stage. Like Andrew's very physically impressive. It's just a work of art how beautiful that physique is. The front double, everything flows perfectly. He's like a kind of a Paul Dillette, but more beautiful, right? Just that freak that bodybuilding needs. But Nick, people were talking shit about him just 6 months ago. Oh, he's done. He's no good. But the dude just pulls it out every single time. You know what I mean? So his stock goes back up, and it's almost like even though he lost, he still won. That kind of Jay Cutler, I'm the underdog. I proved everybody wrong. I'm back on top again. It would have been great to see him in Detroit, but whatever. But Nick proved everybody wrong.
I don't think anybody would complain if Nick would have won.
No, not whatsoever.
No, most people had Nick winning. Everything that I saw, everyone had.
He was actually
first,
losing.
Hadi second, and Andrew third. Yeah,
he was actually losing after prejudging.
Yeah,
and then at the finals they tied up.
That says something about Nick, man. Because he was almost an afterthought at the show, right? We didn't think he was going to do it. Oh, he can't do it. His stomach, this, that. But you can't ever count this dude out. Every single time he messes up. But people seem to write everybody out after one show. Their whole career comes on. Oh, you got third or fourth. Third place at the Arnold Classic is damn good showing. Second, that's damn good. Second place is damn good. He made a lot of money. So he's on the right path. But bodybuilding fans now are fickle because there's so many cameras, there's so many eyes, there's so many opinions, there's so many places to read opinions, right? So everybody, idiots have an opinion now. So that's the one thing too.
Ron, can you go back a little on that video?
The one I have right now?
Yeah, go on the front left spread.
I can start it over again.
Oh, really? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's the only. Yeah, when I'm playing the video clips, I can't go back. On the judging, I can go all over the place.
Watch the front last spread. Look at Andrew's bottom belly.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I noticed that watching it live.
Yeah. So he's
getting bigger too, though. You know what I mean? Like he's not as small as he was a couple years ago.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to put 20, 30 pounds of mass on, and if your midsection stays the same, you're a very, very rare person.
That's not a midsection problem. That's a control problem.
Well, that's, people ask about the Tyler Mannion breakdown. It's on his Instagram. And that's what he kept saying about Nick is Nick still doesn't keep that waist sucked in every minute, which he should on stage. When he's walking around it, he lets it out.
You know what I think Nick does? Nick forgets and he sits on his hips.
Yes.
When he's relaxed, right? When he's up like this, he stretches his torso, right? The hips, he pulls away from the hips, and then he relaxes. I don't know what happens. Obviously, he's trying to think about it, but he's thinking about holding his stomach in, flexing his abs. But in the meantime, he sits on his hips. That makes his waist wider. He should stay up the whole time.
And it's like the judges, that's all they're looking at now.
Right.
Like it's like that they only see that stomach the entire time. So it's got to be on his mind 24 hours a day because that's all. It's like he loses shows because of that. Pittsburgh, and look at this one. So I don't know, man. It's could be better, but is that enough to like throw you off that much? I mean, everybody's got flaws.
No, of course. I mean, it's had they picked Nick for the win, a lot of Andrew fans, a lot of people would have been upset. They're two different type of physiques, and I can look at both and appreciate both types of physiques. But some people have a very clear preference for either the more massive Hulk-like physique or the more aesthetic physique. And if their favorite doesn't win, the judges suck and it's politics. It's they think the judges are morons. But so I knew. I'm actually kind of glad that Hadi didn't bring his best because then we'd be hearing even more crap from whatever fans he's got left. Because he's got
you have Nick apples and you have Andrew oranges.
Yeah.
So it could have gone either way. If Hadi was in shape, it would have been a mess.
True.
Where do you put Hadi? I believe. I mean, listen. Andrew looked really good. I didn't expect him to look this good, okay? But he looked really good. Nick, I kind of expected because I knew Guy Sistarino it was his second pair of eyes, and I knew Guy was going to keep him going. Okay, so the thing is, like, I think this Arnold, the judges were saying, okay, who's not that bad? Instead of saying who's really good.
Well, I mean, if you go by that standard, then Jimmy, who's not that bad, you would think they would have put Curry
Nick
over.
Yeah. Nick would have won, right?
And then Nick would have won. Yeah.
And we all said Nick should have won.
I mean, do you have a real problem? Does anybody have a real problem with Andrew winning? Like they think this was awful to do?
That's bodybuilding. That's the prototypical what we aspire, what Joe Weider taught us to look for. Like wide shoulders, narrow waist, those flaring quads. It's taking Andrew some time to get up there, right? He started competing 2019, 2020? Or later than that, 2022. He's a baby in the sport, dude. This is like, so he's just still growing. He's got Chris Hill in his corner. So he gets better every single show. So it's going to be kind of crazy come September, October, what he's going to unleash on these guys.
Hey, we all jumped on Nick's pecker with no lube, I might add. So no, I clearly said his stomach wasn't being controlled. And the thing Tyler kept saying was if Nick brings his waist in a little more, but he did bring it in from the Olympia. I don't know how much smaller it's ever going to be than what we're seeing right here.
Take a rib out.
For Nick to bring his waist in, he's got to fix that outer sweep up top with the TLF is.
What does TLF stand for? I tore it one time. I should know. Tensor fascia latte, something like that.
Okay.
No? I don't know.
What was he saying to him?
What was he standing on?
No, he was saying something to Nick when he walked on the stage, but we'll digress. I got caught.
Yeah. We'll get to Martin eventually. The nicknames for Martin just keep on coming. Fart and Fitzwater, Shart and Pisswater. Well, when you got a name, when you have water in your last name already, the jokes like write themselves. You don't even have to work that hard.
My name's Cox, bro. What are you talking about?
A lot of people think that's stage name.
You got to turn that around though when you get to be older.
Let's talk about Hadi for a second. I'm not the greatest Hadi I ever saw, of course. Not the Hadi we saw at the Olympia back in October, but I mean, it was third place. And then we hear that wacky rumor. Me and Mike had just wrapped up. We were going to bed, and I start seeing notifications about Hadi retiring. Oh my God. It says confirmed. I'm like, confirmed? Unless I have a video where Hadi's saying, I'm retired. What the fuck? What is this confirmed shit? It was confirmed that Mike Sommerfeld was doing open on Friday. That was all bullshit.
And then what about Ron? What about the rumor that Nick had dropped out the night before?
Well, that was you told me that.
I heard it from Columbus.
Yeah, but I mean, where did that come from? I have no idea where some of these rumors come from.
It actually came from someone who works for Muscle and Fitness.
These people that make up these rumors, just that fabricate propaganda, they're a bunch of retards.
That's hilarious.
We can say retard. It's 2026. So yeah, again, Hadi, third place, not what he wanted, not what I never expected. I saw him in third place in a lot of people's predictions leading into the show, especially as we were getting closer. And I think that was based on the situation he was in. Mm-hmm. So I totally get it. And I'm glad he's not retiring because, come on, guys. It's not like I saw people saying he needs to retire. He's old. I think he's like 36, 37.
He's still making money, though. Why stop making money?
He won the Olympia that last Saturday night at the Olympia. Mm-hmm. A point, he was ahead. If he hadn't, he was, I don't know what the point total was difference, but he almost got the Olympia title back. It wasn't, him and Derek were very, very close. So no.
Oh yeah, that year it was only a few points. It wasn't like a unanimous thing.
Yeah. So for him to retire, that's ridiculous. But congrats to this guy. I thought he looked pretty damn good.
The one thing I also the other thing I wanted to point out about Hadi too is he was jumping around on stage like a little kid, so happy. Like that was, I loved seeing that, especially all the stuff he's been going through. He's still out there just having fun. And you can tell he loves this.
And when he got out there, you forgot about everything. You forgot about all the bullshit. It was just, you were good to see Hadi and his energy and his stage presence. And listen, I can't fathom dieting for a show and doing cardio, not knowing what's going to go on in your life, right? We're talking bodybuilding, but he's got real life shit going on. So props to him. He looked good for all things considered. And if you're making money, don't retire. Because I guess our money's worth way more over there, but it was good to see him on stage, man. All the bullshit is done.
Guys, let's just say Hadi wasn't having a good time on there. He's got all this shit going on in this country and this and that. The guy's a professional.
Mm-hmm.
He knows what he needs to do.
Well, what did Phil Heath say? I missed his reaction to Hadi being third place. Was he happy about that? Angry about that?
No, he seemed surprised when Hadi got third and then Nick got called second. Phil Heath was like, "Oh, I don't agree with that one bit. I want to see the scorecards and I want to see them like right now." That's what he was saying.
I never had. I have no horse in this race. I never had Hadi beating Nick at this show.
No, I never did either. I did not either. I had my original picks, but once I saw the actual lineup and prejudging, I was like, "There's no way."
Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. But Phil was also looking at the video too, the pay-per-view. He's a monitor. He's looking at exactly what we were.
Yeah, I don't know why they do that. Obviously, I know technically it's easier to have them backstage, but I'd like to see the commentators.
Oh yeah,
up front and seeing it in real life.
Literally right before the judges, in front of the judges.
Now, Nick, the good things condition was bang on. I think this is up there with his best look ever. 2021 Arnold when he won, he was smaller and the waist. He was able to keep his midsection a lot flatter and sucked in back then because I think he was probably about 20 pounds lighter 5 years ago when he won this. But yeah, he doesn't control the abs. And his abs they're moving apart, kind of like Keon Pearson's abs now.
Yeah, diastasis is what it's called.
I knew there was a name for it. But this rear double, man, he owns that pose. I think Lunsford's the only one that could possibly challenge him there.
His quads look so big in that pose, too. Look at that. And hamstring just dug out.
Fuad just signed Martin and his girlfriend not. Oh, okay. These are all jokes. I get it. Oh, boy.
Did Nick look better when he won the Arnold or when he placed third at the Olympia?
I liked him. I liked him at the Olympia that year.
Olympia, he was really good, though. He was really good at the Olympia.
Yep.
Yeah. Interesting choice. But this was a pretty great look. I mean, it's up. It's hard to say what his best look, but this is up there with his best.
Absolutely.
And he coached himself. So come on.
He was really off at the Olympia. So he just toned it. It was a dramatic difference from how he looked at the Olympia. So that helped him out a lot too, because it was noticeable how much more conditioned he was.
That's what I've been saying. I've been saying that for a little while now. Nick just needs to come in just super conditioned and not chase the size. He's already got a ton of it.
Do any of you think he would look even better if he dropped down maybe another 10 pounds lighter than this?
I don't know. Maybe.
We know like the taller guys lose the pop and the fullness, but I don't know if he would because
He's, I've seen Nick so many times. He never looks like flat to me ever.
No.
So he's just got such big fullness and he's just huge and he's, not super tall. So like I said, he's one of those guys that could probably get away with pulling off another 5 pounds and stuff like that and just being just really dialed in. Then maybe not eating as much food and stuff maybe helps keep his waist a little tighter.
All right, let's go to our fourth place finisher, who I thought he was going to be third or fourth going in. I thought that was about where he was going to end up. And that was based on how I thought he was going to look, which didn't happen. And, he made posts saying he worked harder for this prep than any other prep, which is kind of puzzling. But sometimes you guys know from your own experience, sometimes things you can't duplicate what worked for you in one prep. It's not going to work. Even Prague was only like 4 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
It just happened. So you would think whatever he had done, him and Boss did for the Prague show, they could have just repeated it and gotten the same exact look.
Yeah, maybe maybe his body wasn't fully recovered from everything and it just needs a little more rest. I'm not saying it looks tired here, but he definitely wasn't at his best for sure.
But Chris, you can't say that because leading up to 2-3 weeks out, he looked freaking amazing.
That is true. Maybe maybe it was nerves, cortisol.
I think this whole 1,000 grams of carbs and 1,200 grams of carbs a day and this and that and the fruits and the this and that. I just think there's so much shit going into your body the last 3 days. And then he's got the nerves and he's got the aldosterone. And then you hit the water, the diuretics, and maybe a little insulin. I just think all that chemistry with all that food is just not working for him. It's just not.
And it's the Arnold Classic too. Add the stress of the Arnold Classic and your girlfriend's doing the show. Yeah. It's a recipe for disaster. And he wears those emotions. If you're not on and you're not confident, and you can see when he's not on, the confidence is just not there whatsoever. He wasn't bad, but it wasn't what we saw a few weeks ago or a few months ago.
But this also happened to him in New York. Remember when he first came out? Like it happened even in Prague. I think in the prejudging, he didn't look his best. He looked a little watery, and then he came back at night. Like this is continuing to happen, and he looks amazing going into the show. It's this carb-starving, carb-loading shit that he's doing that's not actually working. If he's looking like gold coming into the show, don't touch anything. Go right into the show.
It's hard to say because we really don't know what he's doing. But if you look that good a few weeks out, it's like just cruise into the show. You don't need to start mess around and throw all these different variables in there because the more variables you have, that's when you run into issues.
That's what he's doing. I saw one of his videos and he goes, okay, today I'm going to eat about 1,000 carbs. We're going to throw a little of this. We're going to throw a little of that.
Oh boy.
Oh, what?
Man, I eat 1,000 carbs to carb up. I'm bloated as hell. I'm more of like a moderate carb and some fats for me. And that works fantastic.
And if you're cutting your water, where are those carbs going to go?
Yeah. That's totally what happened because he was sweating. He was sweating on stage at prejudging, which means obviously those – they weren't in the muscle. They started going sub-Q.
Right.
That's a lot of shit.
Yeah, I wanted to see this look. Regardless of how I feel about how he behaves and the things that he's said and done, I'm a huge fan of this physique, and this is what I wanted to see.
Listen, I said it in my post. He's dangerous. This kid is dangerous. Period. He's a dangerous bodybuilder, and he's going to do damage.
Every show is a different look. Nobody ever duplicates that look. So bodybuilding is the hardest sport in the world next to baseball because you got to nail it at this particular time on this particular day with all these variables going in. It wasn't like back in our day, we'll eat some rice cakes and baked potatoes to carb up. It's a whole different world now. So like Jimmy said, it's a lot of stuff they do differently now and just a lot of stress. The stress too, man. It's a lot for a kid. Remember, he's still a kid. He's 27 years old. That's still a kid.
29.
That's still a kid, right? Your daughter is 2 years older than him.
Correct.
So
she'll be 32 in a few weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a lot. It's a lot of responsibility for a young man. You got the world looking at you. You're making money. People are in your ear. So it's a lot of shit. And there's no Peter McGuff anymore.
I have no excuses.
Yeah, I know. You're right. There are no excuses at all, right? He's a grown man. He's a grown-ass man, too.
You don't want it, go home. Don't come. Don't come and play. You got no excuses. He's got sponsorship. People have invested in him.
Responsibility.
You see what I'm saying? So you're taking on that responsibility. You're the face of this. You're the face of that. You're the face of your own family. You're your own brand. There are no excuses. Oh, you know what? I had diarrhea yesterday. It happened. Okay. But I had this problem and this issue and like my nerves and this. You got to figure that out.
Yeah.
He's got to go back. He's got to go back and look at what worked, and what didn't work, and leave it alone. Don't try to fix what's broken. I think this whole carb process that he does is not working for him, and it's a hit or miss. And I think his coach should be so aware of that now and saying, hey, you know what? This shit ain't working. Because out of the 5 times, he only peaked twice.
I was about to say, it seems like, his coach has kind of missed the mark with him a few times, and I'm not trying to say anything bad about his coach, because he's a fantastic coach. I'm just looking at the results that are from show to show. It's like he's on one time, he's off this time,
And Chris, he's off the same way. It's not like it's not like, oh, he's too small, he's too big or whatever. He's watery.
Yeah, there's been quite a few times where he's been sweating like crazy on stage.
Let's keep it positive with let's look at Brandon here in a second. Brandon is 43, we think. 42, 43.
Let's just say 50 and give him the props.
All right. No, he's not that old. Some people say this is the best he's ever looked. I don't think. I think he looked his best when he won the Olympia 2019.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Ron.
But he's holding
Were his legs this big?
No, that's the crazy thing.
No, they weren't. Yeah.
See?
It's crazy that you're in your 40s, and you're getting your legs coming back,
He's stimulating those legs 3 times a week.
Is he really training them 3 times a week?
3 times, just stimulating, just 3 times a week.
Not annihilating?
No. Nope.
If I did that, I would be useless.
Yeah, I'm actually going to talk to him on Friday. I got a lot of questions for Brandon.
Very nice.
I wonder if his legs, they've come up a tiny bit, maybe, but do you think maybe he's lost a little bit of pop in the upper body and now he's just got better balance?
And he's got the mature look too, man. That old man muscle's there, and in certain shots,
I would say I was going to say he definitely has, I think, more of a complete look now. So maybe you're right. Maybe it is more balanced.
It's just that time in the gym. He's just getting older, and he hasn't taken any breaks. He hasn't been hurt. It's just been consistent training for about 20 years. He's been a pro for a long time. Right. And you can stay as long as he does, like Dexter did. You just get rewarded for it. And these younger guys are slipping up, and here he is, right there to beat them.
And he's having a good time.
Yeah.
So how do you justify Martin beating him? Just play devil's advocate. Who wants to go and say, this is why I believe Martin beat him?
I straight up think Martin beat him just because of Martin's shape and structure.
Okay.
That seems to be what they were rewarding with this show. It seemed like they favored the shape and stuff like that over, the crazy conditioning and fullness.
And that shows because Andrew won, right?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Because, Andrew had crazy shape and structure. The other guys weren't as, structurally blessed, like Hadi and Nick, but, Nick was definitely much more conditioned. So it goes to show you that, like, the shape and the structure here seems to be, in my opinion, favored a little bit more.
So if this was, obviously it's a bodybuilding show contest. So basically it's what Steve says, right? Big Steve. It's a bodybuilding show. We judge muscle.
Yeah.
Well, was Steve the head judge or was it Tyler? I know Steve was calling the poses.
I'm just saying because Steve, some of the shows, like Martin over a C-bum in Prague, right?
Yeah.
He had the muscle.
Right.
So every time we hear somebody who wins a show that's bigger, but the guy's second is more conditioned, they say he had more muscle. So what I'm saying is that Andrew won because he had more muscle over Nick.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, physically, because he's just a bigger human being.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they couldn't deny Nick the second place, and then they had Hadi, he was better in shape, condition than Martin, and that's how it went down.
Well, if you say that Andrew has more muscle than Nick, if Nick was 6'2", he'd probably weigh about 320, 330 pounds on stage.
Absolutely.
Well, so does Samson. He don't look like he look 300. He looks like he's 260.
Sure.
You got guys that weigh 270 that look 295. True.
Martin should have been sixth. Who else could have beat him? I don't agree with that.
There's no way that Rafa would be beating Martin. I mean, no way.
It was a bad look for Rafa. I like Rafa a lot.
I had Mofuda ahead of Rafa.
Yeah.
I didn't think this was not a good look, especially in the backside for Rafa. I didn't think this was a very good look for him.
You kind of knew that going in. He was quite a bit behind those last couple of weeks going to the shows. He lost some the fat, but you got the guys like Nick and Martin that looked ready, but his shape's so pretty though, man. You just kind of wish it would all come together one day and just be like poof, because that's just a beautiful look. If it was dug out and shredded.
Oh, Chris, somebody wanted you to do a Jose impersonation. Can you do that for us?
He is. He's been talking the whole time.
I know, exactly.
Hey, Pantano, we're going to go train shoulders today. Then we're going to go eat sushi.
It's basically just a little more gravelly version of your own voice.
It's just a little bit slightly deeper, a little bit more raspier voice. That's Jose.
Jose, he's recovering from his second hip replacement right now. So,
he got a second one?
Yeah.
Yep, yeah, he got a second one.
Oh.
Well, Tito has both replaced. His older brother, Tito, has both his replaced too.
He's like a machine.
I got one.
Yeah. Oh, you got one too? Okay, I got it.
Years ago.
I got my original hips. All right, so let's keep the positivity going before we start with the things that want to apply. So I want to congratulate Wesley Vissers from Netherlands. We used to say what we used to call it, some other thing. Anyway, Wesley looked fantastic. We did not get to see the battle that we wanted between him and Mike Sommerfeld, the defending champion, who missed weight. We'll get to that. But what do you guys think of Wesley? Some people thought his legs came up. Everyone agreed his back came up. I saw some side-by-sides. His legs definitely came up a little, but I was more impressed with the back.
No, his legs came up. Someone posted the 24, and then this one. Mm-hmm. His legs came up.
Let's see. I'll find it.
Yeah, I mean, I think with Wesley in class, I mean there was no contest. Like I didn't think it was close. I mean,
no. He was the standout of that whole class, whole division.
Absolutely.
He's classic, dude. That's a classic physique. He's posing classically. He's very reminiscent of Arnold, no matter what Arnold says.
I was just about to say that he's got similar arms and stuff like Arnold, even poses like him. I mean,
same poses, bro. Like,
yeah.
Look at Arnold's old ass. That's awesome.
It's always great when Arnold gets up and takes a video of you. That's like a win,
right?
That's a win.
Remember the first time he did that? Was it Cedric McMillan?
Yeah.
Cedric right in his middle of the posing routine, went right in front of him.
Don't want to touch the governor's hair.
The governor.
Yeah.
So I guess that's all the positivity. So here we go.
Oh shit!
Hold on. I do want to say that Sam Sulek did go on stage. He didn't get last. I think that's a huge win for him. And I think when he just does some posing tweaks and just improves because he's still really young. I mean, I think he'll be doing really well in Classic in a few more years.
He did the Arnold Classic, man. He did the Arnold fucking Classic.
Yeah.
I think Sam, even if he came last, I think he looked amazing.
He looks fantastic. Absolutely.
Here's a guy that started his YouTube channel driving to the gym, guys.
He still does.
Yep.
He still does. Hey, did he buy a new car? Is that a Mercedes?
Oh, maybe.
I have no idea.
I'm trying to figure out because I watched one of his shorts going through the YouTube, and he's got a new car, and it looked like an S-Class, a 2-door S-Class.
Good for him. He deserves it.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. But here's a guy who's just Yeah, he doesn't comb his hair. He wears the same fucking hat. You know, I mean, come on. I mean, I wish we all could be like him. It's like, hey, fuck you guys. That's basically. I got no coach. I'm going to the Arnold. Yes, I didn't pose. I'll figure that out, and I'm gonna go eat now.
Man,
Yeah.
Sam Sulek with that mustache and the hair, he looks like he's from the 80s and looks like he drinks Budweiser and rips on Marlboro Reds while driving an IROC.
He looks like he looks like he should have been on a commercial with Arthur Jones with Nautilus.
Yeah.
That was good.
Right?
1978 right there.
That was
Or
good.
from Boogie Nights, like he's dating Ian Hartley.
So,
Yep.
Hartley, oh boy, we're going way back to the VHS porn days.
Yes, right.
But,
Yeah.
so, I mean, he looked fantastic, and I will say that. And again, he coached himself, so major props. I personally don't think he has a future in classic physique. I don't think he's ever going to push for the Olympia title. You know, if he has a future, he can keep competing, and he might win a small show. He might make top 5 at, I don't know, it's not going to be the Arnold Olympia, because I just think structurally he's very limited in what he's going to be able to do for classic. He just doesn't have the clavicle width, that natural V taper that these other guys were born with. You know, he's done a fantastic job with what God gave him, but
I don't think he's got any expectations to win any shows.
No.
He just loves this stuff.
right.
It actually helps his brand, you know. And
Just keep training, keep growing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Enjoy
he
it,
loves
eat.
He
Yeah.
loves what he does, you know.
He's not losing money competing. Put it that way. He's not he's not going broke competing.
My question is, you guys know, Chris, you don't know yet, but you know, you guys have a different attitude. When we were dieting, man, 2 weeks out, how the fuck are these guys doing videos and
I was
talking?
miserable.
I couldn't fucking breathe.
I will lay like
Dude,
this.
when I was 2 weeks out last time I competed, I didn't want no one to fucking talk to me.
Chris, I couldn't even drive. I couldn't see in front of me.
Getting out of my car to walk through my garage was just a task.
It's awful.
Yeah, you got guys like they're at the Arnold and they're like, hey guys, we got one day left to the Arnold Classic. I'm like, what? Like, what drugs are you on?
That's amazing.
I mean, you know what, Jimmy, though, I will say once I started getting some food in me and we dropped cardio like a few days up from the show, my energy levels did go through the roof.
See, when I did that and I added food, I got even worse because my body just kept sucking it in.
Well,
I would be hot and sweating from the food. It was like the 1 week out, 2 week out, 3 week out. That's where I was miserable.
Yeah.
tell me about this. Does Retatrutide really, does it make dieting a lot easier? Like, are these guys not suffering now the way that most of us always had to suffer?
I'll tell you this. When I did my my 3-month mini cut before my last push for this year in the off season, I ran 1 milligram of Retatrutide a week. So basically 3 injections equaling 1 milligram. I fucking hated it because it made my appetite go to 0. I wanted to not eat at all.
Wow.
So if that's the case and throwing it in a prep when you're really hungry, I think that'll be pretty good at hunger cravings for sure.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can't eat the food that you're supposed to eat. If you're 270, 280 and you're doing Retatrutide, there's no way you're going to get the food you need to eat.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't matter what I weighed. I mean, I had literally 0 appetite. I know some people that are taking like 10 milligrams a week and still can eat no problem.
10.
10. Where are you getting the money for that? It's ridiculously expensive.
God damn.
But yeah, I mean, I literally just didn't want to eat. I had to set alarms for every single meal because I would not want to eat. Yeah.
Was it a chore getting it down? Was your appetite gone totally?
My appetite went from like an 8 to a 0. I mean, a fucking 0. Like even cheat meals, like I didn't even want to look at food.
Wow.
So explain this. I know we're getting off topic, Ron, but we'll go back to this real fast. So explain this. If you're getting ready for a show, right, and you got to eat 350 grams of protein and 300 grams of carbs just to maintain the muscle mass, and all of a sudden you're taking Reta now and you can't eat that.
I think when you're pre-contest, when your body fat's lower and you're doing tons of cardio and your metabolism is cranked up, I think that you'll still be hungry for it, but it won't be like the crazy hunger pains may not be as bad. That's my guess. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
So I'm a moron with this, so help me out. Is it only acting by cutting the appetite, or does it have any crazy special fat burning properties like DNP does?
Well, it's a what is it? It's a GLP receptor, GIP, and glucagon.
And glucagon, and the glucagon is the bodybuilding side.
Yes.
Partitions.
Yes, it does partition. It increases insulin sensitivity. So theoretically, the more the carbs that you eat, it actually helps the uptake of them much better. Right. And the appetite suppressing is kind of just like a side effect, but it does. Like I remember, like my fasting blood sugar dropped about 12 points once I was on it for about 2 weeks. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm also
doing 1 milligram 3 times a week.
No, 1 milligram a total a week. So I basically did like 0.33 milligrams Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Oh, you didn't do it once a week? You just you
No, I did it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Yeah.
Man.
Suffering.
Yeah, I would try that. Ron, we would probably tried that. I'm not gonna lie.
No, here's the thing: bodybuilding isn't about suffering. The suffering part is optional. That's really what it is. Like and the way my mindset is it's like I get to wake up and go to the gym. I get to diet. I get to do cardio. I get to lower my body fat and look friggin' awesome when I'm on stage. Like that's the way I view it. Glass half full mentality. If I wake up every morning, I'm like, this sucks. I hate my life. I want to eat Big Macs. Then it's like, why even bother doing it? If you're not going to enjoy the process, and embracing the suck. Ken Johnson always used to say, be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Right. Listen, I'm all for trying to find a way to make things easier, right? Like someone came to all 4 of us or 5 of us right now and says, "Hey, I got 2 secrets how you can make $1 million in 48 hours." Like, no, I don't want it. Of course we do.
Yeah.
So if someone turns around and says, "Hey, I got this that's going to help you lose 15 pounds and you're not going to be hungry," you're going to take a look at it.
Hell yeah, you are.
But hold on a second. I see a lot of guys now, right? And some of my clients are asking me now, what about the T3 and Retta? Do we do the Retta or we do the T3? See, Retta, you don't know if it's a hit or miss with the Retta.
For some people, what I've noticed, yeah.
Right. T3, it's going to work.
Now, when do you pull the Retta out? Like, how close to the show do you pull that out?
I have no clue. I'm not. I start prep, I think, in 2 weeks, so I'll figure it out.
We'll know when Chris is. We'll know by Tuesday.
We got guys in the chat. This guy says he's on 8 milligrams a week. That seems excessive.
Nah, can't be, man.
I think he's just full of crap.
Maybe he's just not measuring it right.
You ain't got a
box. I honestly believe people are taking that much. I've seen doses as much as 20 milligrams a week.
Oof.
God damn.
There's got to be a point where I don't know how many grams of it where you just it can't possibly be doing anything more positive than it was at the lower dose.
Yeah,
you would think.
Yeah, I have no idea.
What do I know?
It's giving some guys some gastric issues.
Well, when I came off of it for about 10 days, I had heartburn about 5 times a day every single day.
Shit.
Yeah. I know guys are doing it right now. They get heartburn right now.
Yep.
And they're doing
because it delays gastric emptying too. That you don't want that.
Tom's Pepto-Bismol, they're doing all that stuff. Dude, just come off.
Like a $1 zillion idea.
You certainly don't want to be taking like omeprazole or anything like that because that's just bad. Like you need the stomach acid to help digest protein.
Correct.
Damn.
The Wesley thing, before we get off Wesley talking about him completely, do you think open is something he should pursue? He's doing very well in Classic, obviously. He's got 2 Arnold wins, but everyone wants to see everyone go to open if they're not open for some reason. Do you guys
I think Wesley would have to really put on a lot more size to be competitive and open.
Yeah. I don't think
he's tall. Isn't he taller than Andrew Jack? So let's put him next to Andrew Jack and see what's going to happen.
And he's got that kind of frame, dude. You need a lot of muscle. What is he, 6'3"?
6'3".
Yeah, 6'3".
That's like maybe 290 pounds. That's a lot of frame to fill out, and maybe he doesn't want to do that. That's a lot of food. That's a lot of extra stuff. So, and he's got a good niche in Classic.
A lot of drugs.
Yeah. And he's successful in Classic. Fans love him. He travels the world. He's making tons of money. He's pretty. He's got separated muscle. He's no bloofy muscle. You know what I mean? Enjoy this.
He's 6'3", but so if he's 6'3", 250, Nick Walker is, I don't know, we keep arguing about his height. Let's say 5'7". Can Can we just agree 5'7"?
I agree he's 5'7" because he's about an inch taller than me, and I'm 5'6". So
Okay. So 5'7", Nick was probably about 265, you think?
Yep.
If I had to guess.
It's huge.
So let's do the math. 5'7", that's 12, 7 inches shorter and 15 pounds heavier than Wesley. So yeah, I don't think Open's going to happen for him unless he really goes ballistic with the drugs for a couple of years or something.
Why should he?
Yeah, no, he's not going.
Yeah.
He will not do that.
Yeah, $1,200,000.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about our boy Mike, because I wanted to see Mike versus Wesley, and none of us got to see that. None of us actually got to see the judging Friday during the day. The stream cut out right then and there.
Yep.
Right as they were coming on stage, which was very infuriating, but it was free. I couldn't ask for my money back. So Mike, he had. I don't want to be a dick, but here I go. You had one job, Mike. You had one job. Come in at the right weight.
You didn't have the job. Neil had that job.
I was saying Neil. I mean, we
Neil
was
had
Neil
that job.
too.
And Neil was reckless with it.
I mean, how do we know? How do we know that Neil and him didn't butt heads and Mike just decided to do things?
But Neil's the coach. That's his name. That's his responsibility. He goes, Mike, let me just make a phone call. Let me just make a phone call. 3 weeks out, 4 weeks out, 3 days out. Hey guys, we just want to make sure here that you're gonna check Mike's height again. No, we're not. Why? Because we're not. Okay, thank you. Click. Mike, we got some problems. It's simple. But what they did is they went there and they thought because of Mike, and if Mike didn't get heightened and make the thing, they're gonna say, oh shit. Mike's not going to be in the thing. We're going to lose this. We're going to lose that. All right, Mike, slide through. But it didn't happen. It backfired. Don't tell me that they didn't think like that.
I think they made an assumption, and assumptions are the mother of all fuck-ups.
Yes. And they made an assumption like, hey, Mike is popular. They're not going to throw Mike out of the show,
Well, I mean, he had been heighted at 5'9". What we're looking at here was a year ago when he won, and he was somewhere around 211, something like that. They had him at over 5'9", which I don't know how much of that was hair and how much that was actual height. But the Olympia, it was a full inch difference. That's a big difference.
Well, whose fault is it? That's whose fault is that? That's the people measuring the dude's head. If you don't go push down on my head, if I got a kid and play flat top, and you measure right there, I don't say shit. I'm gonna compete. They have your body weight. But Mike,
that's past tense.
He can't go back. Listen, that's what all those fancy pictures of him looking huge and full. That's not what we have anymore. He's a small dude under that body weight. He's not gonna make that weight. It's not the same physique that's on Instagram. He looks beautiful and it's great, but like that ship is sailed. Like that's a problem. That's your job, dude. Like that's how you pay your bills. Make the call, like Jimmy said. Pick the phone up. Hey, Tyler. Hey, Steve. Maybe we could do this. What? Okay, cool. There's your answer. 6 weeks out. Hey, I'm calling one more time just to be sure. There you go.
Right. Hey,
done.
That was it.
No email, no text. You got their phone number. Pick that shit up.
Listen, I just want to confirm, guys. We're thinking or we're assuming that you guys are going to measure Mike again at at the weigh-ins or whatever you want to call it, right? Yeah. No, we're not. That was it.
So he had been stretching. He had been going to some specialist. He really, honest to God, was in the belief. I don't know if they actually did his height. If some crazy manipulation had been done, he really was 5'9", at least temporarily. I would have loved to have seen if that was even humanly possible.
Did someone promise him or someone give him an inside thing and say, hey, you know what? And then maybe that person wasn't there.
Oh, who was the person that hired him? Where were they from? Somebody fucked up. Like, don't blame Mike. Blame the person that did it. That's their job. You got one job to do.
I think if they're going to do height and weigh people, I think that there should be a standardized, like the either what they're using for height and the scale. I think they all should be calibrated just so it's consistent. I don't think that was the issue. I just think he got heighted at 5'9", then he got heighted at 5'8". So then he just assumed he was going to be heighted back at 5'9". Like if that was me, I would have been like, I guess I'm going to shoot for like the worst and be like, hey, I'm probably going to get heighted at 5'8". We got to make sure we're at this weight cap here.
Just to be sure.
You know?
Or make a phone call.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like, as a competitor, it's like, you know, like for instance, like I was scared shitless. I wasn't going to make the light heavyweight when I competed, you know, last time. And I voiced my concern to my coach, and my coach is like, that's my job. I'll let me worry about you making weight. You just execute and stay calm. Huh. And, you know, so like that's what, you know, Neil should be doing. He's like, let me worry about the weight. You just keep executing.
Right.
Yeah. So, and then we were hearing rumors they were going to let him go open. I don't know if that offer was ever made to him, because I think Brian Powers, the promoter of the Arnold, said no, absolutely not.
Bob said the same thing. There's a rule to that. He just can't go into the open if you'll make weight.
Well,
and it's just because it was invite only.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. They did do that at a show last year, but that was an invitation only. That was I think it was the Big Man show where Fabian Mayer over in Europe, he missed the weight, he jumped in open, he placed fourth, but that wasn't the Arnold Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Arnold has graphics, everything's like made up for each person as they take the stage. They put a lot of work, just like the Olympia, to make this a spectacle. So you
big shout out to the Arnold production team, man. They put on one hell of a show.
Yeah,
they do.
Oh, there's so much more we can talk about the whole Arnold. I mean,
he traveled all that way.
The expo. I mean, it was amazing.
And the feather in the cap of the Mike situation is Detroit Pro is happening Saturday. We're doing a watch party. Me and Mike come and hang out with us. But he supposedly waited until he was on the plane back to where? Germany? I guess he was going to fly home. He tried to register for the Detroit Pro or put in his intention to compete, and it was too late.
He was in Vegas.
Yeah,
I read somewhere either today or yesterday that he had no idea what Eastern Standard Time was.
Come on, dude. You're in Vegas. It's not the same time.
Is that true? Like, did you guys hear that? Maybe.
Yeah, I heard the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Or did he not know what daylight savings time was?
But
what I read was Eastern Standard Time. What the hell is Eastern Standard Time?
I mean,
it's on your ticket.
It's the same time zone he was in Ohio.
Yeah.
Oh well, God. Yeah, but you know, I would have liked to have seen him in open. Only, I know he would have gotten his ass handed to him, no doubt. But just the fact that I knew he had prepped for this whole show, to not even be able to go on stage for 1 second. I feel for the guy. I feel for Neil. That was a lot. It was complete waste of prep, basically.
Not only that, you know, he just lost out on some prize money. He just lost out on a bag.
Yeah,
I think he would have beat. You know, we're looking at 24 Olympia. This is the 210, 211 pound version of him, which he was not going to be able to show. But still, I think, you know, he's beaten Wesley several times. I don't think Wesley would have beaten him.
No, I don't think so either. It was his show to lose, and you know, not even get to showcase everything. You know, now he's gonna have to do another show. You know, maybe then they have Classic at Pittsburgh. Maybe he'll do Pittsburgh or
doing UK.
I think so.
Oh yeah,
UK.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Him and West, they're both doing Arnold UK, aren't they?
What's that?
Him and West, they're both doing Arnold UK. Right?
Yeah. So we will see them finally. All right, it's time. I guess it's time. Here we go. Martin, we had to get to it. Now, I know Lee Priest doesn't want us talking about this. Sorry, Lee. It's my podcast. I'll talk about whatever the fuck I want. So I'm not gonna throw him under the bus, but you know, I've never seen this type of behavior on stage. I've been going to these things for damn near 40 years now. I've never seen anybody. So this was the thing that really disturbed me, was the celebration at Nick taking second. He looked happier here that Nick didn't win than I think if he had won. I thought is this sped up, or is that how fast he was really pumping his fist?
No, he was pretty animated when he was. Yeah, he was animated on stage.
Okay, so that wasn't sped up. That was
there were some people defending him, being like he was just celebrating because he knew Andrew won. And
really,
yeah, we all know what he was really celebrating. I mean,
yeah, and I mean then, all right, the not shaking hands things, whatever. I mean, that's bad sportsmanship to not shake hands, but we've seen that before. I've never seen the celebration thing at somebody else. And then we don't have any footage of this shove backstage where he shoved Nick and said, "I hate you," or "I effing hate you."
Dick. That's such
You
a
know,
dick.
I know you shouldn't be putting your hands on people, but goddamn, I mean, like Phil Heath and Kai Green almost duked it out right on the Olympia stage in front of everyone.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know if you guys read my post today. I mean, I was holding back on it.
I did.
I think it's all ridiculous. I really do. You guys
Jimmy,
got to come back to the 90s when we were all on tour. We're fighting on the buses and they're getting kicked off buses. We got to take taxis and shit like that. And then after the show, we're all eating burgers. You know,
this is the issue. This is the issue I have with all this, right? You know, I think we all can agree that Martin's behavior was very unprofessional, right? But I mean, how many NBA players have you seen like swat shit out of like fans' hands, or you know, go up in the stands, or like football players that get ejected from a game for like personal fouls? You know, they get fined and stuff like that, but do they lose their sponsorships? No. Tom Brady smashed a tablet one time on the sidelines. You know, that's not very sportsmanlike of Tom. Did he lose his sponsors and endorsements? No. You know, Ronnie Coleman on camera said Jay Cutler was smoking crack.
right.
You know, we all laughed at that back then. You know, if that was done today, or cancel Ronnie, you know what I mean? I think it's the mentality of the fans now.
Yeah, but Ronnie's bringing you $5 million a month in sales.
Well,
okay?
yeah, but I'm just, you know what the other thing too is it's like,
if Martin was bringing money for Raw, if Martin was bringing money for Raw and bringing money for his sponsors, then you know what? They wouldn't have said shit.
100%.
I don't know if he is bringing money from them or not.
He's not, because they dropped him.
Well, I know they dropped him now, but I mean, like, you would think that maybe some of these companies would, you know, the companies dropped Martin because everyone else is just like, you know, flash mobbing him on social media. You know, they're like, oh, fuck Martin. We're not buying Raw ever again. Raw's gonna be like, oh shit, we don't want our sales to tank. Let's just get rid of Martin. You know what I mean?
That's not gonna happen. Martin got cut because he wasn't really bringing in his side of the thing.
Well, see, that would make more sense.
I've been in this business 40 years on the back end, and I've worked with multiple companies. I've been consulting companies for years before I even launched my brands. Okay. And when you see those numbers, they're looking for an excuse to cut you. Period.
You just gotta be, listen, you gotta be on your P's and Q's. You're on stage at the biggest show in the world. I don't give a fuck you don't like that man. Pretend like you like that man and act like it's optics, right? The cameras are on you all the time now. When you watch NBA games, this is how they talk at the end of the games. So the people can't read their lips.
Oh yeah.
Mark's gonna be like, fuck you, Nick, and kept it moving, right? But you have to be professional at all. It's about being professional. I was never on that stage. I did amateur shows. I knew even if I got my ass kicked, hey man, good job. Playing Little League sports, we had to walk in the line. Good game.
Absolutely.
I fucking hated it because I
Good
lost.
game.
I wanted to punch a kid in the fucking face.
Right.
But you have to keep your composure. Now, you can't put your hands on anybody. I don't give a fuck who you are. Don't put your hands on it. Don't bump me. You can talk shit to me, but that's not what you do at a show. Like, just keep it under control. Titus was crazy. Craig Titus was literally a killer. I don't think Martin's a killer, right? He's not Craig Titus 2.0, but you're representing brands. These aren't Nike. This isn't Adidas. These are smaller brands that have a smaller market, right? So you got to have a good representation for that. So you just got to be aware. You have to think. But again, listen, in rehab and NA, they tell you this too shall pass. It's going to blow over. A show this Saturday, Arnold Clax in 2 weeks, New York Pro. It'll pass over. This will be out of the news. Quietly get ready for the Olympic because you're qualified for it. You got a little bit of bread. Don't say shit. You know what I mean? Show up. Hey, how you guys doing? I fucked up. My bad. Let's go.
Mike, Raw's a $150 million company.
Right, but it's not like.
But here's the thing.
I get it. I get what you're saying. But it's not Under Armour.
Let me tell you something. The merger that they did, they're Under Armour.
But there's NBA guys do that. They've got clauses in their contract as well. It's like,
here's the thing. He didn't show up in the booth. He didn't show up at the booth.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask you about that.
Like I'm saying, they looked for an excuse to cut him. If he was bringing in the company money, they would have worked something out. They would have fined him. They would have done something. Okay. He was a liability. They were paying him, and they just kept being in the red, in the red, in the red, in the red. Listen, like I said, I've been behind it. I've seen it. I've seen these guys getting paid. Do you remember Muscle Tech?
Yes.
They had Dexter. They had Jay. They had all these guys. And they're getting Phil,
France, Johnny, Jose.
Right. And do you know what they did? You know what they did? They signed people so the other brands won't sign them.
Yep.
I know.
Oh, yeah, they did that.
They were signing the guys so the other brands won't sign them, and they were saying, "Hey, here's what you got to do. We don't care. Just do what you got to do." And they kept them on this team, okay? Because either they were producing or not producing. The other brands weren't producing. That doesn't happen now. Things have changed. If you're not producing, if you're not out there bringing in money, no one's going to give you 15 grand a month.
But his girlfriend still, she still got the part deal, right? They didn't drop her.
Yeah, she's still with them.
Yeah.
But well, let me ask you, Jimmy, do you know, I have to imagine that Raw was getting a lot of messages from people saying, we're not buying. I saw people posting that, but I don't know how many of them took it upon themselves to go to Raw. And I'm not saying that was a good thing either, but I feel like they're saying we're paying this kid 200 grand a year or whatever.
You ain't getting 200 grand a year.
Well, whatever. Let's just say it's 100. He was getting 100 from Fuad. Let's say they were giving him 100. That's 100 grand out of their pocket right now. And now let's say they do the quick projections in their head and say, this kid's going to cost us $10 million in sales because people think he's a dick. And now they're not buying my product. I mean, it's just business. And the people who are coming down on Raw saying,
so let me flip. So let me flip this on you, okay? As a CEO, let me flip this on you. Martin goes through this thing. I'm Raw, right? I'm not going to speak, for Dom and all those guys. But if I was them and Martin was making me money, I would have said, we're sticking behind you, and we're going to give you, and we're going to promote you, and we're going to make you better. Go to Costa Rica, what Andrew did. Go to Costa Rica, do what you got to do, and come back even stronger. We're going to stick by your side. Let me tell you something. Those sales from Raw would have doubled. But it was a liability already. They needed to cut the bleeding, and they had the excuse, and they cut the bleeding.
I'll tell you. I think eventually, I believe he will make some sort of, I hope it's an apology, because that's the only way people are going to forgive this and move on, which people will do.
That's all was needed. To be
honest, your
ego. He doubled down. He made posts saying, you fuckers, fuck all these fans, you can go fuck yourselves. He left angry voicemails for all these people that, of course, they're going to put those on their podcast. What do you think they're not? I mean, it just was such a bad look. And again, you know, Jimmy, you run these $1 million supplement companies. Is that someone you want on all your Instagram and your website? Somebody that's got these anger issues, addiction. Who knows? I don't know what's going on with this kid.
Like I said, if he was making me money, I would have flipped it. I would have flipped it and says, "Hey, we're sticking by him. He's made some mistakes. We're going to figure this out. We don't want to leave him hanging with no mortgage payments and the bills."
When you're leaving people angry, like angry shit like that, that's a little bit different, right? Typing something, but then when you pick that phone up and then you hear your tone, like that's a little bit different than like putting a little post out saying after media, right? Like, you can't do that when you work. Steph Curry with Under Armour, he wasn't calling ESPN saying "fuck you, Stephen A. Smith." You can't do that. Bodybuilding is this fucking big in the world. Nobody gives a shit about the sport but us. So it's this small. And the news is this small because there's no ESPN. It's a 24-hour news cycle, right? Fuad's got shows every 30 minutes. So whatever you do is multiplied. So they got to know there's eyes on you all the time. He's on this fucking phone all the time. Put the phone down, people, and give life and just give it a break, because obviously some people aren't mentally ready for social media. Like there's court cases about this. Kids are fucked up from it. Right, if you're on that 24 hours a day, you're seeing negativity 24 hours a day.
How do you
also seeing people kiss your ass? So get off the social media and stop. Go. You have to take a break, man.
You guys remember what Phil went through?
Yeah.
When Phil was actually fighting people on fucking social media.
Louis Marco.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
don't engage.
This is normal shit. It happens, but the thing is, I think it's just because of the social media. Listen, I'm not saying he did it right. He was very wrong. I posted it. I'm against what he did, but I think it's just so exaggerated. And like he pushed Nick backstage, guys. No, you guys were fuckers backstage. We got in fights. We threw dumbbells at each other.
Wow, that's ridiculous.
I mean, there were fights.
Guys, now it's a different breed now, though, bro. Like it was a different breed of dude back in the 90s. That was just a little bit. It's a different kind of mentality with these kids now. And the kids.
I'm gonna give you one name. I'm gonna give you one name. Mike Quinn.
He would kill somebody now. He would
kill people.
He would have strangled he would have strangled
Mike Quinn.
He would have hit him with a beer bottle. You know what I mean? But Mike was a little nutty. Like people aren't crazy like that anymore. You know what I mean? Because those kind of people would probably be in prison right now. You know what I mean? Like they are in prison right now. Craig Titus. Those people are in prison right now.
Right.
So I don't know, dude. I feel bad. There is a little bit of feel bad because he lost his money. You don't hate taking a man's money.
I think
but there's consequences. There's consequences that you're under the contract. There's rules to your contract.
I agree.
Like,
I think he's going to bounce back. He's going to pull his head out of his ass and really see what happens.
Just stick with it. It'll pass over. It will pass over, right?
But
It always does not. How shitty it gets.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Every time I saw Martin talk close to 2 weeks, a week out for a show, he was very emotional.
Yeah.
He was holding back tears every time he talked. Okay. So you knew something was going on with his hormones. Definitely something was going on. And maybe that's why all the water weight happened. But he's going to come back. All he needs to do is just do a video and be sincere.
You got to do something. You have to show. You have to be apologized. In this day and age, you got to own it. If you just got to own it up, hey man, listen, I fucked up.
I think it's too soon for him to do that because I don't think anybody's going to believe him because he's not in the right frame of mind. I think if he comes back, let everything cool off. You know, he's not the first guy, and he's not, and he won't be the last guy.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I don't want to kick him when he's down. He's got
kicking him
his emotions. He's very impulsive. He speaks before thinking. He acts before thinking, and I'm sure these things that could be worked through in therapy.
But we're not here. We're not here to tell him how to act. The one thing he did with Giles, I agree. Maybe someone should have done something there. Okay. Maybe the IFBB should have stepped in and said, hey, we're finding you, okay? Because he did touch somebody. The push behind backstage, come on, man, that happens all the fucking time. The push on stage, they should have fined Phil and Kai on stage when they almost threw each other off the stage. You see what I'm saying? You got to, are they picking their battles or what? The thing with Giles, I agree, something should have been done there. Hey, Martin, you got a $10,000 fine. You don't touch any reporter. Nothing.
I can't remember the last time anybody was fined since Wayne DeMilia left like 20 some odd years ago.
Maybe that's the problem.
Have to tell a grown man not to touch another man's
Has the IFBB said? Has like the IFBB said anything that they're gonna do any reprimand Martin for this? You know, see, like they're not doing anything. You know
Chris,
what I mean?
What do you do, Chris? Because
they're not his employer either.
Let's break this down. Let's break this down black and white. What did he do? Not shake Nick Walker's hand? Did he do anything wrong? Did he clap for somebody else? Did he do anything wrong?
Mm-hmm.
See, see what I'm saying?
I mean, realistically, it's we've seen worse on stage before from other people.
Let's talk about worse. What did he do wrong?
It was just poor sportsmanship. That's all.
But what did he do wrong?
I mean, like, you know,
that's the thing.
There was a time Hadi walked off stage with a communication issue. I mean, you know, all types of stuff happened over the years.
Either throwing a trophy on stage, the USA.
What would it take? What would you consider theoretically? What would a pro bodybuilder have to do on stage to be reprimanded, to be worthy of being fined or suspended?
Throw a trophy on.
I think if they're in the lineup and then, like, you know, it actually came to physical contact in front of everybody, like actually shoving or punching, or, you know, screaming at the judges or something like that.
Or take the medal off and throw it on the floor, whatever, or take the check and rip it. You see what I'm saying? They're symbolizing something there. But just because he didn't shake Nick Walker's hand, I mean, I don't think it hurt anybody, but people
didn't.
wanted to make something of it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's the IFBB needs to step in. I don't think he's
No,
done anything to that
absolutely
level.
not.
But again, this is the voicemails he left, and calling fans to go fuck themselves.
You can't do that shit, man. Like, I
Yes,
get you can, but it's gonna cost you some shit.
There you go.
It's gonna listen. You can say whatever you want to say in this country.
There you go.
But somebody can smack you in the mouth when you say it, which just happened. But
bingo.
That's just it is what it is, man. Like now you know.
Bingo. Mike, you're absolutely right. An action is going to get a reaction, either
Bro.
good or bad.
Yep.
He didn't do anything wrong. He did an action. He's getting a reaction. It's over. Let's move on.
Social media presence too. Who wants to sponsor that? Yeah, I mean,
Jimmy, I agree with you. I agree with you on that. You know, and all these people just making negative videos just to get clicks and views on their own page at Martin's expense. I mean, granted, it was Martin's decision in the first place, but it's like, dude, it's over and done with. Like, you know, and the good part is Jimmy, like hearing your point of view on this, like you can tell you're from a different generation where this shit just didn't bother you back then. And I'm the same way. This shit don't bother me. You know what I mean? Like whether was it unsportsmanlike? Yeah. Does he deserve all this reaction that he's getting now from everyone else? I don't think so. Everyone just wants to fucking talk and,
Let me give you a scenario. I'm at the Mediterranean Championships in Istanbul, Turkey. I'm Greek. Greeks and Turks, you know the history there, right?
No.
I'm in Turkey.
Yeah.
I'm in Turkey representing Greece in 1988. The newspapers were all over us, and they were trying to get me and that was the captain of the Greek team, and they were trying to get the captain of the Turkish team to shake hands. And we're laughing. Him and I were just laughing. And they just wanted to create this whole commotion. I will post this picture tomorrow. I have it. I'm wearing the uniform, the Greek uniform, and he's wearing the Turkish team uniform, and I'm shaking his hand. It was front page. And they twisted that.
Of course, that's what the media does.
Right.
Comparing newspapers to social media is dumb. No, they're just the same thing in different eras, basically.
Yeah. It's just
newspapers and magazine is what where you got the
newspapers were our social media.
It's like reading the tabloids, like so and so saw an alien got abducted by this, or a midget came in and stole all of his money from his house or something like that. It's the same thing. It's just one's digital, one's in physical print.
And who end up owning Muscle and Fitness and Flex? That company.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, so I don't know if he'll. Do you guys think he will apologize, or you think it's not in his nature?
No, I think he will. I think he will, because I know he's a good guy. He's got.
I've never had one bad interaction with Martin. Yeah. I've talked to him a lot. I've spent time with him when he was with Gaspar Better Bodies and stuff. Like,
Yep. I was out down there in April. I saw him. We sat and we talked, and he's a good guy. He's a good guy. He's just, he has this thing about, for him to be motivated, he has to hate something.
Yeah, he said that. He said he can't just prep with the goal of winning. He needs something deeper than that emotionally. Yeah.
I get it, but you're not Michael Jordan, dude. Like you're not Michael. I get it, dude. But look what that's gotten you. Look what that's gotten you so far. Yeah. You're about 200 G's in the hole right now, right? And you got all this bullshit. You're stressed out. Your homeboy's offering to send you over for vacation because you couldn't keep your shit in check. There's other shit behind the scenes that he's done, maybe have said. People don't say. We don't see everything. I'm not privy to all this. I'm privy to some of the things in the group chats. That's all I know, right? But you got to keep your cool. The cameras are on 24 hours a fucking day. And if you're on your phone commenting, people are going to print screen that shit, right? And they're going to post it. Xavier's got the voicemail. You can't leave a voicemail, right? Yeah. Your company's paying you good. Boston, the Patriots got rid of Stephon Diggs because of his bullshit, right? And he's a great player. So Rod Revive, you know what I mean? It's lesser. You have to be aware of everything you're doing. You know what I mean? We are representing those companies, right? Yeah. You couldn't, if you got caught selling drugs for weed, you probably lose your contract. You know what I mean? So you have to be aware of all that shit, man. You're contractually obligated.
Yeah, there is a level of decorum you have to uphold, and
Yeah,
you know you gotta play the game. You gotta play the game.
Well, how do we learn? How do we all learn here? With our fuck ups.
Yeah.
You know, maybe this is his fuck up that he's like, hey, you know what? This business plan ain't working.
But you're not the same person at 27 that you are at 37, right?
Oh,
it'll be okay. He'll be a different person in a few years. You'll look back on this like, oh, what the fuck, man. We all have those. What the fuck was I doing moments? You know what I'm saying? His came on the biggest stage with social media.
Yeah, I've said that plenty of times. The fuck did I do that for back then? You know.
So Jimmy, business. You're a businessman, supplement company. You know this better than I wonder if he was. I think some smaller company would sign him right now because they can get a deal. Nobody's going to give him the money he wants right now. Does he do that, or does he wait until this shit all dies down? He makes an apology. He's going to anger management class, whatever, rehab, whatever he's got to do. I don't know what he needs to do. And we're a very forgiving culture. I think when people admit they're wrong, they say, "I'm sorry, I fucked up."
Especially in bodybuilding.
I think he comes back from that, and
I think
any big company would sign him after that.
I think he should disappear. Just do social media, some training, no talking, no like, hey, I'm going to be the best, I'm coming back. None of that. Just do your training, get back, and then just show up. Okay, show up, kick ass,
show up shredded, peel, don't say shit.
Yeah, just come back, don't talk, and just do what you got to do. Win the show, no matter what show that is. Could be big or small. It doesn't matter. Win a show, because a win is a win, right? Win a show, and then say, I'm here to talk. You guys want to talk business or what?
He didn't kill anybody.
That's where he's going to sign that big contract, because that brand, that company is also going to get kudos and recognition for signing. If I had my men's brand, MyoLabs brand, where I'm able to sign, because I'm the Beauty Fit. The MyoLabs was just going behind Beauty Fit, right? I would have signed Martin yesterday. I would have signed Martin yesterday. Say, hey, let's get you clean. Whatever you're doing, let's go. I'm with you. Let's bring this back. Let's bring this party back where it's supposed to be.
This is a great suggestion. I know you can tell some people, like, I'll say it. I think Sebum and a few other people have others handling their social media 100%. I don't think they do any of that, as they shouldn't. If you're making great money and you have 20 million followers, you can afford to have someone that's all they do, and they'll do a great job for you if you find the right person. He should do that, and someone should take his phone away immediately after a contest and not give it back for like a week.
That's what I was saying with some of my friends. I'm like, someone should just take his damn phone away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he can handle that.
But they grew up their phone. Like, he's younger than us, so they've always had a device in their hand 24 hours. My stepdaughter, she can't go 5 feet. She sweeps the floor with the fucking phone. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So I have to tell you guys, the Saturday night, our internet was down, the whole neighborhood, the whole area, and I couldn't watch the finals. I was fucking going crazy.
Oh.
I actually took my truck and went to Starbucks, and I was watching it.
That's a fan right there.
And I was outside Starbucks watching it from my phone. I was going crazy.
This is a great thing for you to comment on. So, Davey, this is a guy I've coached before. Davey, he owns a supplement company. Do you think eventually?
Yeah, I agree.
The companies aren't going to sponsor athletes anymore?
Yep. Well, here's the thing: they're sponsoring social media accounts.
Yeah.
Period. There are some great bodybuilders out there, but they don't have any social media accounts, and they're not getting any money.
True.
It's purely for the marketing. If somebody like a Sebum has 20 million followers, you're paying for the marketing to reach 20 million people every day, are you not?
Correct. That's what I'm saying. Even if Sebum wasn't a bodybuilder and he had an influence of 20 million, I still look at him and not a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Trend Twins, great example. They're not pros. They're more popular than 90% of the pros,
right?
But they have a reach and an influence that almost none of these guys we're talking about in this show have. So they could, I'm sure they have sponsorships.
Sam Sulek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam Sulek is sitting at the booth with Jay Cutler and Ronnie Coleman now.
That blows my mind.
They were the three people on the. Yeah.
Thank you. Why?
Jesus.
Because it's the influence. You know.
I'm done.
Are you telling me? Are you telling me that Fawad didn't feel the drop when Sam left?
Oh, sure.
Jesus, man, that's insane.
But I mean, I didn't think Sam was going to stay with any one company unless they're not going to give him as much money as he could get for himself doing his own thing.
I think Sam realized how much money they were making and he wasn't making, and he was handcuffed.
Well, from what I heard with Hostel is that if you're sponsored by Hostel, that's it. Like, you can't be sponsored by clothing companies. You can't be sponsored by lifting gear. And if I remember correctly, I think it was Justin Shire that talked about this. And it's like, we're not making crazy money in the sport from winning shows unless you're like those top 5 guys that are doing the big shows and making money. And it's like, why would I sign with a company if I'm going to be limited? You know what I mean? I've been very grateful myself. Like, I'm not a pro, but I've got multiple sponsorships and they do pay me some money. You know what I mean? But if it's like, you're only with the supplement company, you can't be with the clothing company. It's like, well, now that's opportunities that's not going to come my way.
I think we're
Weeder contract. Nobody else but Weeder.
Right. I think what Fawad kind of didn't really take advantage of Sam is that he really didn't create his a clothing line. He didn't create any of that stuff. He just here, let's go. He actually used them in appearances and pushed product into the stores.
Yeah.
And
did he have his own signature series, anything like that?
No, nothing.
No.
They'd be like, oh, if you want Sam to come to the store, you're gonna have to do like a $20,000 PO. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what a lot of these companies do. I mean, I'm also heavily in the supplement industry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like that's what a lot of these things do. Like, I was talking with one of my accounts to have the big events, and it was like $10,000 an order plus $10,000 to Chris Bumstead to come to an event.
Wow.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But what Fawad should have done is create a clothing line, hats, everything, man, bags, you name it, posters, everything. And then you know what? Come out with 1 or 2 flavors just for him. And
that's what Core Nutraceuticals just did that with Jordan Hutchinson. They just come out with his own brand.
And you know what they're thinking, right? Because what they should have done with Fawad should have done with Sam is create 1 or 2 flavors and say, hey, you could take half of those profits. And
give me residuals.
Just instead of saying, hey, here's your contract, right? And here are 2 flavors. Let's start selling them. And you can have half of it, half the profits, because he's still making money for the rest of the brand. Now, Sam is making more money. He's not stuck on, $15,000 a month. That's all I'm getting. This brand is growing. I'm going all over the place. I'm not sleeping anywhere, and I'm on the road all the time, and I'm only making $15,000, and I know what's going on.
Is that what Sam was making, or is that just? Oh,
I don't know. I don't think he was giving $15,000.
No, those big sponsorship contracts are not like that anymore. Like, I remember, Ronnie Coleman signed with BSN. He was getting $1 million a year.
Yeah,
I remember that deal.
Yeah, people aren't getting anything close to that now.
And that was all with NO Explode.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Jimmy, were these companies getting a return on their investment? BSN, Muscle Tech, when they were paying these big sellers?
Back then, Scotty and all them, they were making that money, because don't forget, you remember when Ronnie got on a bus and went on tour?
Yeah.
That's exactly what they were doing. They were putting product in the stores, and they were saying, Ronnie, get on the road. But they gave him $1 million. That first,
they didn't have coupon codes back then. As far as it was hard to quantify these sales. You know what I mean? And that's the other big thing now with supplement sponsorships. Like, they have code and stuff like that. Like, they can track sales, and
But it's different. Nobody does it anymore. Like, with Beauty Fit, I got girls that really I want to be part of Beauty Fit. I want to be part of Beauty Fit. Well, do you buy Beauty Fit products? Oh no.
I used to be the athlete manager for iForce Nutrition, And I tried to sign Sean Clarita, and they were like, no, he has no following. This is before he had like a decent following. I think he had like 8,000 followers. I'm like, dude, he's gonna blow up. Nope, they never let me sign him. You know what I mean? So I would sign these like bikini girls that trained hard, you know, that had like 30, 40,000 followers, and you could give them a very small salary plus free product, and they would market your brand like crazy.
When I started Beauty Fit, I had 35 girls on the team, and some of them were getting salary and some were getting commissions on some like an affiliate program I had. Right, it wasn't really an affiliate program. I mean, we're talking 15 years ago, so it wasn't really an affiliate program. But 35 girls, it was costing me close to $60,000 a month. And my mistake is I became their big brother. Right?
Yeah. Yep.
I was putting the girls on Oxygen magazine covers. I was doing this. One went WWE Diva. So I was connecting all these girls, doing everything. And next thing you know, they weren't doing nothing. I woke up one day and I said, I'm done. And I got rid of all of them. And it didn't hurt me.
Yeah. I think a lot of the fans have this misconception that it's like a charity. Like, this guy's a great bodybuilder, a great guy. They should give him this much money. They don't understand the whole, they've never owned a business. They've never understood the concept of return on investment. If you're paying somebody $500,000 a year, it's because they're making you $5 million a year.
Muscle Tech was printing money back then, dude. Like,
they
were selling at the booths where I'd have bags of supplements. Even the amateur deal, if you turn pro while you had that amateur deal, they gave you $2,000 to start off with. Dude, I was getting $500 of supplements a month at one point. I was selling a little bit of that shit off, but $500 a month every month. So they were like loaded, man. But just that it's gone now. Like influencers, sadly, you know, just that's where it's at now. Nobody cares about bodybuilders, you know.
I mean, people say they should pay these bodybuilders, you know, millions and millions. They just don't get it, you know. Like, I don't know what's like one of the top does anyone know one of the top contracts in like an endorsement contract for like an actual NBA or an NFL or MLB athlete? What kind of money we're talking?
I mean, that's multi-million dollars. I mean, Michael Jordan's still making money every year.
James Harden had a $200 million Adidas contract, along with a $200 million NBA contract at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, Bobby Bonilla is still getting money every year.
Every year, $1 million every year.
May 1st?
Yeah.
May 1st.
I mean, if you're getting a sponsorship contract now and you're making $60 to $100,000 a year, like you're lucky. You know,
no shit.
There's still some out there that do that.
Damn.
Beginners, and we're talking about some good guys right now. Beginners back then, they were getting 60 to 100. Wow. Back then.
That's what I'm saying. Like, these contracts were much bigger back then.
Big time.
Like, you know?
Here's what I'm talking about. Renaud, not making funny here, but you're saying Palumbo should sponsor athletes, but why?
For what?
For what? If they're going to make him money, but are they going to make him any more money? Are more people going to buy Species nutrition products because Martin Fitzwater's
Listen,
I don't know.
Sponsoring an athlete is just as bad as sponsoring a bodybuilding show.
Yeah.
I mean, just as much of a financial loss. You have to build a brand.
At that point, it's about supporting. You want to support that bodybuilder or that bikini or the wellness, or you want to support the show. It's about supporting. It ain't a business transaction.
Everybody ain't Samson these days, right? He's the exception to the rule. There's some exceptions to the rule. Just even back then, though, like Mike Quinn had a contract. Those smaller pros, they had a little bit of a contract. Now it's just there's so many pros you just can't pay everybody.
Well, let's talk about this. Samson and Fuad. Why did Samson leave?
Somebody offer more money, I'm imagining.
Why would Fuad let him go and say, "Hey, you are my bread and butter, buddy"?
Well, to be fair, a lot of the supplement industry the last year or so, with the increasing cost of raws, there's a lot of companies that have let a lot of athletes go, and that's because they're just not making as much money. The first thing that's going to go are those athletes.
Why can't they be creative? Why can't they be creative? He had Mr. Olympia, man. Figure it out. Give him a piece of the action. Figure it out. Be creative. You see what I'm saying? He let him walk. He let the number one bodybuilder and the most well-loved bodybuilder in the world right now, well-loved, right? He let him walk.
Well, do you think, Jimmy, it was a case of, let's say he was getting 200 a year, maybe it was more, I don't know. Let's just say 200. Maybe his contract was coming up and he started talking to other companies and somebody said, we'll give you 350 or 400. And he came back to Fawad and said, I have someone that's ready to give me 400. Can you match that? And Fawad's like, no, I can't. And that,
because he's thinking about the 400. Want to be creative and get to that number.
But like how are you going to be creative though? Like, you know, it's
you go
if you're going to come out with like one of like Samson's specific line or clothing, that's more money up front that he has to front on top of paying him the increased salary. You know what I mean?
But here's the thing: when you invest, that's a good question. But when you invest like that, we're not talking about. First of all, you got to look at your return on investment. Your return on investment on doing clothing right now, the way Samson was, didn't make sense. You get on the phone and you call all the distributors up and you say, hey, give me $100,000 order, and I'll give you Samson for 48 hours in your country. You got 6 distributors worldwide. You just collected $600,000. Say 30% of that is profit. Let's just say 30, because we know supplements is a lot more. Okay, 30% of that's profit. You just made that difference for that 1 year.
Well, 600 to a 600, or $100,000 order with a distributor is a big difference than like a brick and mortar store. I mean, like a lot of those companies that are like websites, like those companies can do 100, 200, 300K a month in orders, but like single stores or even a chain of stores to do $100,000 order like that's a huge nut to put out.
I didn't say brick and mortar. I said distributors.
But the thing is, just like distributors don't have like they're selling to other stores. Like, where would they have an event? Like, you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
Are they gonna have like their road reps travel with Samson and visit all the stores?
For example, when I had Beauty Fit, the guy came up to me in at the Olympia at the little hotel lobby, and he goes, hey, what do I need to get Beauty Fit in Australia? I said, give me a $2 million PO. Gives me a $2 million PO. He goes, how are you going to sell it? I said, I got 2 girls that are going to come to Australia, and we're going to take them to Muscle Works. That they had 14 stores. Then those girls went on tour, and that distributor called all the stores and said, hey, I want you to carry Beauty Fit, and we're going to have an appearance.
Okay, that right there, that would work. That works.
But you see what I'm saying? It's if in the supplement industry, especially in the supplement industry, the one-to-many really works. You go to the big guy, okay, like Europa back then. You go to Europa and you say, hey, I'm cutting you a deal. Where do you need to be at with these next 5 products that I have? You need to be 50 off, 60 off. Here's the deal. I want you to buy $2 million, and I want to go in 1,500 stores in the next 72 hours. Put your guys in the hole, in the tank. They had 75 people or 80 guys. Get on the phone and sell my shit. And I guarantee you I'll have 3 guys and we'll create appearances. Autographs night. That's how it works.
You wouldn't get that shit at all in the US with Hostile. Like I travel, I have like 18 states of territory. I see Hostile in maybe 6 stores max.
Are they more of a mail order company then?
But here's the thing, Chris, that's where you push and you promote your most loved bodybuilder in the world. Okay? He's not being, listen, Samson is a sweetheart. He's the biggest bodybuilder in the world right now. He's not being promoted correctly.
He's not. He's not. I agree with that.
No one is sinking no one's sinking their teeth into Samson to make Samson money and to make themselves money, because for that company to make money, they have to find a way to make Samson money. And the way Samson's going to make money is get out of your house and onto the fucking road. I was nobody, and I was on the road 36 to 38 weeks out of the 52. And now you see guys, why isn't Nick on the road?
He hates to fly.
Well, I mean, you can understand that their hesitation, because it's very difficult to keep up the regular training and eating and everything when you're flying in hotels.
Well, that's where the companies come in. Hey, listen, we're paying you all this money. Get on fucking tour. Sell us some product. You see what I'm saying? In other words, That's where the distribution comes in. You go to your distributors. Raw's got distributors all over the place. They're a $150 million company. Plus, they got all these other, brands that are all acquired. They have a holding company now. Get the distributors in place. Say, hey, we have 2 athletes, 3 athletes. Put up a marketing plan. Call these distributors and lay it all out. And you're on the road for the next 6 weeks. Take care. But I got a show to do. You want the $200,000 contract, or don't you want it? Dude, we had contracts, and the week before the show, I was signing fucking autographs.
Yeah, but then what happens now? They're on tour for 6 weeks, and all of a sudden they get on stage and they look like absolute shit.
It is what it is. That's the business of bodybuilding.
Yeah, but I mean, don't most of them have? A lot of them have clauses where they don't travel the last 6 weeks before a show.
But that's
okay.
A
lot of them do. Yeah.
There you go. You can still put that in the clause. All I'm saying is get on the fucking road and shake some hands and kiss some babies.
But for Samson, it'd be easier because he's in the UK and he's in My Protein over there, right? So it might be easier for him to move here.
My Protein is a massive company compared to Hustle. That is a huge freaking company.
Yeah. They're a $1 billion company. Okay?
Yes, they are. Yeah.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah, bye-bye, Hostile. Peace out, Fuad.
But here's the thing.
God, son.
But let me ask you this question. How do you think his deal is structured? You think he's getting a lot of
with Samson, he's almost it's almost over. Like he's got a little bit left in the tank. He's got to push, right? I would take as much money as I can because he's gonna be 45. One injury away. Do
you think Samson got more money with the My Protein deal than you think?
Yeah.
No.
He got more money.
He got
I think the whole homeboy he's doing pretty good.
Jimmy, he
got a piece of sales for his own brand.
Well, not only that, but Jimmy, this is what a lot of other sponsorship deals will do. So they may pay you your salary and you have your requirements, but I've seen contracts. I mean, I've physically seen them where if let's say you win the Olympia, some of these contracts will, they match the prize money.
Yeah, of course.
If you come in third place, they match 30% of the prize money. So these are all other things that these guys are making their money from.
This is not new stuff, Chris.
No, it's not. I'm just saying, but for the people that are listening that don't understand, this is what they do in the contracts.
My thing is these guys are sitting home, and here's the thing. I think the supplement companies are actually doing damage. Like they want to pay these guys. They can't pay these guys all this money because I don't think they're creative enough to put them out there.
There's a talk in the chat. The difference between going on the road and meeting people in real life versus just social media posts. We see guys now who have been retired for many years, like Leverone. Kevin Leverone has massive sales for his products all over pretty much Eastern Europe, Middle East.
And what does Kevin do?
He's on the road. Always on the road.
Yeah. Right.
Guy Sistemino crushes sales with his company that he's with, and he's not on the road, but he'll host events at his gym. He's very active on social media. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm saying that exactly. There's a very, like Kevin said, he's got people that come up to him and said, "Man, I met you 30 years ago and you shook my hand and you were nice to me." There's nothing that replaces actual interaction like that.
No, not at all. That in-person thing is special. Plus, you get a line out the door, down the block,
And what does that do for your brand? It raises up. What Ronnie told me? He says he feels he's more famous now than he ever was.
He's financially doing way better now than he was ever too. So what is that?
We have a different emotional attachment to those guys. These guys, they don't have that yet. They've got a social media attachment. We had almost a godlike attitude toward those guys. They were they were gods to us. So it's a different 30 years later when I still see Lee Haney I'm still that 15-year-old boy that saw that grown-ass man, right? So I go back to that. So it's a different attachment.
Right. But
Mike, you see younger guys now, you're like, hey, what's up? It's a different look.
But Mike, that 20-year-old guy's in love with Ronnie right now.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So and they're in love with
social media.
With Kevin. They're in love with Kevin. So that's where, because of the social media, they took advantage of this and they say, hey, I'm going out there. You see every 6 months, Kevin's on the road. 8-9 countries in 10 days.
Yeah. There was an event that I did in New York a few years back, and Keon was there, Guy Sistonino was there, I think Seth Feroci was there, Chris Bumstead, Ian Valier was there, Brett Wilkins was there, Nick Walker was there, and I shit you not, I must have seen 7,000 people come through that line, and that line was 6 hours, 7 hours straight down the block. You know, and I mean, like the account that I did the event with and stuff, like they forked over some serious money for that event.
Oh my God.
You know? Oh yeah. But like the thing is, you know, they end up having a loss as far as sales, but you know, there were people talking about that event for the next 6-7 months, and they made their sales back up in the back end. You know what I mean?
Look what Andrew's doing.
Yeah. Look at that. Those are everyone that meets him at these things, they're going to be a fan for life.
Right. Absolutely.
And whatever
he's got with his own supplement company, they're going to buy his stuff.
And whatever he's got behind him is going to come with him. That's the thing.
Absolutely.
See, no one's doing this and attaching. Everybody's putting the cart before the horse. Put the horse first and attach the cart and let the horse go.
But Andrew, he gets it though. He gets the business of this, right? He set this was his second tour with Giles, and so he's setting this up. When he's done competing, he can do this again too.
It's Giles.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not Andrew.
Yeah.
It's Giles. He did the same thing with Lee Priest. Okay. Yep. So Giles knows what he's doing.
Oh yeah. And at the Ronnie events, they sell out. I mean, like thousands of people showing up.
Yeah.
The guy that hasn't competed in 25 years at this point, over 20 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So there's social media is a very powerful way to reach people, but it's still never going to replace.
Where have you seen any of the top 10 the Olympians post a poster that they're going on tour more than 3 appearances in 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Not many. No, you're right.
None.
Yeah,
None. Where's Hadi? Where you see what I'm saying? Where's Nick?
Hadi got a little bit of excuse. He kind of got some shit going on.
Well, that's now. But what happened 5 years now, right?
But
what about Derek? I don't see him doing any appearances. I don't see him going.
No, but I'll say this though. Derek promotes his gym, and he is always there. I mean, I trained at his gym for like a week. He's there. He's there every single day, all day. He talks to everybody. He hosts seminars. He brings other pros in too. Like he creates a culture in his gym where he's not traveling as much, but everyone is coming to see him.
Is he selling what he's promoting? He lost TLF. He lost Jocko.
Well, didn't he leave Jocko for another company?
You got the Dragon one, the Dragon Farmer one.
Yeah. He signed with a different company. You know what I mean?
What?
I mean, let's face it. Jocko Protein. It's like Derek and Jocko Protein. That's not really a good fit. It doesn't, you know.
But why did he take that deal? Because he had no other deal.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
See what I'm saying? I'm not bashing anybody. What I'm bringing out forward here in the clear is the business. The business of bodybuilding. No one's doing it. You hear Sean Ray talking about it and this and that. That's what we did back then. It was the business of bodybuilding. Who's capitalizing on their careers, on their look? All right.
You know, Gasper and Better Bodies do a great job with this. They do their Iron World Tour. Yeah. And I've been on one of the tours. We literally toured Jersey and New York for like a whole week, trained at all these gyms and videoed everything. People were coming out like, you know, and they do this all the time. They bring a few of their athletes and stuff with them. They go on the tours, like they put up events, they promote the shit out of it. You know, brings business to the gyms that they go to or the supplement stores. It's awesome.
That's why I
love that company.
Right. That's why I'm part of it after all these years. I was part of it in 92.
Oh man, you're an OG.
I was part of it in 92. So, you know, and now you see they have 25,000 ambassadors.
Yep.
Damn.
But you know, they've created a culture where like people want to be a part of it.
Right. And it's clothes, quality clothes, right? But it's a culture. Like whenever I see somebody wearing gas, I'm like, hey, it's like you're riding a Harley, right? You see someone on a Harley, you're like, hey, you know, I do this.
I was trained at American Barbell the last couple of days. I saw a few kids wearing some Gasp shirts, and I was like, "Hey, man, really like your shirt." You know,
They're everywhere.
yeah.
Dude, I have Gasp shirts that are like 25 years old.
I got some from 2010, so 16 years.
Wow.
They're still like brand new too.
They hold up pretty well.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys, we've been going for almost 2 hours. Woo-wee. So
I think today was a good one.
it was
we
a
didn't-
good
I
one.
like
We didn't
today.
bury anybody. I think we're all positive.
Yeah.
You know?
And Jimmy and Chris, I want to thank you guys for the insights because you actually work, Jimmy,
Yeah.
Chris, you work very, very, very deeply into the supplement industry. And Jimmy, you've been a supplement company owner for years and years now. So you gave us some perspectives that I never would have known these things, these behind the scenes, the way things are done. So appreciate you guys giving us a glimpse behind the curtain of the supplement industry there with the athletes, especially. Yeah. So what do we got going on this week? I'm going to be talking to that the young German kid who was 284 at the Arnold Amateur,
20-year-old.
Nicholas. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
You are, huh?
He didn't win, but he's 21 years old. Come on, give him.
Does he speak English?
21.
He speaks pretty good English. Nicholas Emig. So we'll be talking to him. Brandon Curry and me and Big Mike. Not Jaroslav. It's Big Mike Cox, guys. We're gonna watch Detroit Pro.
Do us a favor and try to get Brandon's leg workout for us, please.
Oh, 100%. That's one of the main things I want to know.
I'm starting it as soon as you post it.
Who do you know that was like a bodybuilder since they were a teenager that is improving their legs after the age of 40?
And see if his son's getting any NIL money from college. I'll bet his kid's getting some decent amount of money to go to school too.
Oh, what's NIL stand for?
Name, image, and likeness.
Okay. Well, that's a new thing. They're starting to get paid now, these kids.
Oh, they get paid very well.
They're getting paid so much they don't even want to go pro now.
Yeah, they're 25 years old in college still.
Yeah.
Oh, good job.
Like me.
So thank the panel. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Big Mike Cox. And, of course, Chris Pantano fighting through the hotel Wi-Fi over there in Columbus. Appreciate it very much. Appreciate you guys who joined us on the chat.
Guys.
If you're watching this on the replay, drop some comments in there. I am one of those guys. I go back and answer every single comment because I'm like that. So that's it. Thanks for watching Meathead Podcast. We will see you next time.